Nobody tells you in library school that winter 'tis the season for cabin fever and hormones in the teen room. I can't wait until spring break. Welcome back to another Librarian Way short. My name's Emily. I blog over at theknowminglibrarian.com and of course TheLibrarianWay.com. Today I am answering Julia's question from 2 weeks ago, which is,
what are some of your reading quirks?
So I do have a few reading quirks, a couple that I'm not so proud of. Like Julia, I do like to count the number of pages in a chapter. I like to know if I'm going to be able to finish the chapter or not. I hate to finish or stop in the middle of a chapter. If I can't read the whole chapter, then I don't like to start it. So I do tend to count pages in a chapter as well. But my biggest quirk, which is really bad, but that's okay, I cheat. I read the first chapter or two and then I take a look at the last page and then I go back and finish the book, and I always do finish the book, and everybody's like, well, doesn't that spoil it for you? I don't like to live in anxiety from page 1 to page 354. I like to know what's going to happen, and it doesn't ruin it for me because I still have to figure out how the characters got to where they're at the end of the book. And it all started with the 7th Harry Potter book. We had a few copies come in before the release date at our library, and they were sitting on a desk and they kind of got locked away and nobody was allowed to touch them. So the morning it was released, we all hurried down to get our copies, and I'm holding this really thick book in my hands and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, does Ron Weasley live? I have to know if Ron Weasley lives. So a girl that I worked with, she was going to cheat, and so I didn't ask any other questions other than, do you see Ron Weasley's name on the last few pages? And she goes, yes. So then I felt so much better reading it, knowing that he might still be there at the end. It's so awful, I know. It's just, I also judge a book by its cover. I tend to only pick books by the covers these days, and I tend to only pick books that are about 300 pages long. And that sounds really bad too. I should read everything, but it's trying to fit in as many books as possible so that you're reading the ones that the teens are reading and you're reading ones that have great reviews so that you can recommend them to teens. So there's just not enough time in the day. So those are a few of my reading quirks. A few things I love. I love fun chapter titles. Hold Me Closer, Necromancer is great at that, or Mothership by Martin Leicht, and he did a really good job with that too. I don't like talking animals in general, so those are some more quirky things, but I tend to read just about anything. I like fantasy over realistic fiction, but I'll read just about anything as long as I can read the last page, which with ebooks it gets a little trickier because it's a little harder to go back and forth. I can't just flip, and audiobooks are impossible. That's why I tend not to like audiobooks, because I don't actually get to hear the end first. I suppose I could listen to the last disc first, but I know that defeats the purpose, so oh well. So those are my reading quirks. I have a question for you, Julia. Who is your favorite fictional villain? I tend to love the villains. I don't know why. Some are creepy, some are funny, and when I think of villains though, for some reason I always think of Disney cartoon movies. Like, when someone says villain to me, I think of Ursula from Little Mermaid. I don't know. So who is your favorite fictional villain? It could be from a movie, from a book, from television, wherever. Thanks for joining. See you next week in another Q&A The Librarian Way. And don't forget to check out TheLibrarianWay.com for more topics on teen librarianship. And as always, leave questions and comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks. Bye.